I realize some of you may end up disagreeing with me in this video, and if so, you're welcome to your opinion as well as your thoughts below in the comments section. This is something I thought about while I was out of town last week visiting my sisters and brother-in-laws in Central Texas and Hill Country. I had an opportunity just to sit back, relax, pull myself away from gaming in general, specifically Red Dead Online. And I started thinking about where the game is right now, as well as where it's going to be. It's easy for us to be critical of the game, rightfully so, because it has a lot of issues. And in time, I feel like Red Dead Online will be a better game. So I was originally going to record this video for April Fool's, but then I realized it's April Fool's. Obviously, I didn't want to do that because that would send the wrong message. And then on Tuesday in our Discord, there was a similar discussion happening between several members in our Red Dead chat. And, some were of the opinion that Red Dead Online is doomed. Others felt differently. And I felt like this was a sign, I guess, that I should record a video and share my thoughts about the direction Red Dead Online's going as to why it's not doomed. I got some notes. I wrote down notes. I'm old-fashioned. First off, let us talk about what Rockstar posted a few weeks ago in the road to head. Now, I'm not going to go over this video in detail because I already did that. Feel free and go check out that video if you want to know more about it. But they did give us kind of a pathway. Maybe not a roadmap, but a path, a plan as to the future of Red Dead Online. We do know that we're getting a spring update. That's going to come probably somewhere near the end of spring, probably May, June at the latest. Hopefully it'll be a big update with a lot of content, a lot of bug fixes. And they already mentioned a few things, including they're improving the hostility system, as well as adding offensive defensive options. This is going to be great for players that don't like being griefed, that just want to do PvP, hunting, fishing, doing stranger missions, land of opportunities, stuff like that, the daily challenges. So it's definitely going to work in the favor of defensive players. But there's also some more things that they mentioned. We're going to get more land of opportunity missions, as well as free roam missions. That's coming, as well as some dynamic events like fighting off ambushes, initiating rescues, defending folks in need, and more. And of course, the Lamar revolver, which a lot of us are happy about. But that shouldn't be the only reason that brings us back to Red Dead Online with the spring update. So I sincerely hope that Rockstar is playing this one extremely close to chest. And they probably have a few more tricks up their sleeves, some other things that they're going to include in the spring update that we're obviously not aware of. Rockstar's usually pretty good about not being transparent. They'll give you a little bit of information, but they won't give you everything. But I do feel like the closer we get to that spring update, the more information they will put out regarding the road ahead as to what we have to look forward to this coming spring, which is one point to prove that Rockstar has not given up on Red Dead Online. From their point of view, it's still in beta. A lot of us disagree with that because of the microtransactions and the gold bars, but from their perspective, the game hasn't even officially launched yet. Now, I get the feeling that when the spring update comes out, that's going to be, from their point of view, when Red Dead Online begins. Like, all this has just been like a trial period, testing the waters, trial and error. Hopefully that's the case. So I do believe that Rockstar has no intention of abandoning Red Dead Online for at least some time now, especially since it's obvious that they're continuing with the event weeks. This week we got Up in Smoke. Next week we get Plunder, along with some more limited stock clothing items. Now, it may be a while before we get some more, because I think that's the last of the drip feed content from update 1.06. But Rockstar is planning something in later spring when it comes to what they're bringing to us down the road. So Rockstar does have a plan. even if we don't know it quite yet. We don't fully understand the plan, but they do have one. Now, Red Dead Online, I think a lot of us can be honest about this point, is never going to be as successful as Grand Theft Auto Online. It's big brother, which has been around for 5 years. It's set in a different time period, in a different game, where there's a lot more stuff, a lot more technology, like fast cars, helicopters, planes, jets, all sorts of wild, crazy, zany stuff that Rockstar can add to Grand Theft Auto Online. Unless they go all steampunk on us, along with the time period, which is, what, the late 1890s, there's only so much that Rockstar can add to Red Dead Online. But Rockstar can still make Red Dead Online successful in its own right. Another thing that I think most of us believe is going to transpire is Red Dead Redemption 2, as well as Red Dead Online, coming to PC. Now, that has not been confirmed. There's been some rumors out there, but if we go by Rockstar's track record when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online, first it was last gen, then it was current gen, and then eventually it came out on PC. I believe the same thing is going to happen with Red Dead Redemption 2 as well as Red Dead Online. I think that Rockstar is working on a port for a PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know if it's going to release sometime later on this year, maybe following the 1-year anniversary of Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe October 2019, or maybe sometime in early 2020. But I do think that Rockstar is going to release Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, of course, along with Red Dead Online, which means Rockstar, once again, for at least a year or two, is going to put effort and content behind Red Dead Online. So I don't think Red Dead Online is going anywhere. Another prime example, a lot of us make fun of this, but they do continue to promote the feedback page, and a lot of us who are active in the community have left feedback for Rockstar, not just in videos or replying via Twitter, but also through their feedback page. And I don't think that they read every single bit of feedback they get. I believe it's some sort of algorithm, and it's all done by percentages, and they look for keywords, like, for example, private lobbies, or more PvE stuff, or ponchos. But Rockstar definitely knows what the community wants and doesn't want when it comes to Red Dead Online. Now, it may not always seem to be the case, but you have to look at Red Dead Online as a big giant ship, an aircraft carrier or a freighter. It takes a while for that ship to turn in the right direction. And I feel like that they are taking our feedback very seriously, because without the hardcore community of Red Dead Online supporting this game and continuing to play it, then they'll have no community at all. So they have to listen to our feedback. Those of us that are still playing this while it's in beta, even if most of us consider that to be a joke. But I digress. So the next thing I want to say is comparisons. I know I like to compare Red Dead Online to Grand Theft Auto Online. And I think that's a good comparison, because Rockstar has spent over the past 5 years adding to Grand Theft Auto Online, sometimes improving it, sometimes making it worse, like with some of the griefer items. But when it comes to other companies, like, for example, DICE, when they first came out with Star Wars Battlefront 2, it had serious issues. The loot crates, prime example. But even though a lot of us ripped on EA and DICE, as well as Star Wars Battlefront 2, they stayed the course. And they still have a community supporting Battlefront 2. And they've added a lot of stuff to that game, including like Clone Wars stuff, along with Anakin Skywalker, General Grievous, Count Dooku, just to name a few. So EA DICE has turned Star Wars Battlefront 2 around since its launch several years ago. And you can say the same thing about Rare when they launched Sea of Thieves last year for Xbox One and PC. And I played Sea of Thieves, also played the beta for Star Wars Battlefront 2, but I think I have a little bit more experience with Sea of Thieves because I played it for several weeks at the very beginning. And even though it was a beautiful game, it was very bare bones. You could put a correlation between Sea of Thieves and Red Dead Online. Over the past year, Rare has been updating Sea of Thieves. It's been getting better and better and better. Sea of Thieves right now is way better than the game it was a year ago. And I feel like Rockstar is going to do the exact same thing with Red Dead Online. They are doing the exact same thing with Red Dead Online, in fact. I know a lot of us don't see it, but I believe a year from now, Red Dead Online is going to be a much more enjoyable game. Now, I could be wrong about that. And look, it's not the first time I've been wrong, but I choose to be optimistic. Despite the fact I have a number of rant videos on the channel regarding Red Dead Online, the issues I have, I still consider myself a member of this community, and I want Red Dead Online to succeed. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. I see potential in Red Dead Online. And I think that there's a reason why so many others are still playing Red Dead Online, because they also see that potential. And they understand that these are the growing pains. There's a lot of issues that we're having to deal with. Server issues, bugs, glitches, other nonsense, as well as it being bare bones, similar to Sea of Thieves last year. But Rockstar is going to continue updating Red Dead Online. And I hope that the spring update will begin to point us towards the right direction when it comes to the future of this game. And I feel like that's going to be the case, because there's been several missteps that Rockstar has made. The latest one was Tuesday with the 2-bar gold socks, the darn stockings. 2 gold? Are you kidding me? 2 gold for socks? 2 gold for a pair of socks, Rockstar? Are you nuts? You don't even see the socks most of the time because you have boots on. This is so stupid. Why did you think that anybody would want to, spend 2 bars of gold for a pair of socks, Rockstar? That was a mistake, and I think most people with common sense would probably avoid purchasing a pair of socks for 2 bars of gold. I'm sure there were some out there that have plenty of gold or really like the color of those socks, even though you'll never see them because you're wearing boots most of the time. It's your gold. Spend it however you wish. But the majority of us, we're like, nah, that's okay, Rockstar. We'll keep our 2 bars of gold. We don't need those darn socks. But another thing I'd like to talk about is the fact that Rockstar has obviously invested a lot of time as well as manpower with developers working for Rockstar and money into Red Dead Online to give up so easily. Now, yeah, there have been mistakes over the past few months. A lot of issues in the so-called beta. Most recently, the 2-bar gold socks. I still can't believe that, but it doesn't surprise me. But I feel like that Rockstar has invested in Red Dead Online, at least for a couple years. I would say you're at least going to see 2 or 3 years worth of content for Red Dead Online. Maybe more if it does well enough. So I don't think Red Dead Online is going anywhere anytime soon. So that's something a lot of people don't need to worry about too much, whether Red Dead Online actually starts to go in the right direction or continues to go in the wrong direction. At the very least, Rockstar will continue in the wrong direction until there's no one left playing the game. Now, I don't think that that's going to transpire. I want to believe, once again, that they're actually listening to our feedback. It's just taking time for them to properly implement it. And unfortunately, they're not going to please everybody, because you can never please everybody. You try to get a room full of people and you decide on what you want to have for dinner or you want to have at a meeting, meal-wise. Most people are going to disagree. Or even if the majority agree with you on something, there's always going to be a few people that disagree, that didn't like that idea. It's just the reality that we have to deal with as human beings. Now, another advantage that Red Dead Online has over a lot of online games, like a couple of examples, Star Wars Battlefront 2, that costed $60. Sea of Thieves costed $60. A lot of the other games out there, with the exception of some of the free-to-play battle royales like Fortnite, Apex, a lot of them actually cost money. The difference is Red Dead Online is technically a free game, and I consider it a separate game. Yes, you have to pay $60 or more for Red Dead Redemption 2, which, by the way, awesome game. Definitely worth purchasing for at least $60. But on top of that game, you get this other game, this online version called Red Dead Online for free, which definitely works to Rockstar's advantage, very similar to Grand Theft Auto Online. For everyone that bought Red Dead Redemption 2, most of them probably bought it because they wanted to play the single-player mode, the story mode, as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, just like they did with the first Red Dead Redemption with John Marston. However, thanks to fixes and new content, players are going to come back to Red Dead Online. Yes, there are less players playing Red Dead Online than at launch several months ago, but not everybody has abandoned Red Dead Online. There's still a community playing Red Dead Online, and once there's a major update, which is coming in late spring, we're going to see this community continue to regrow itself. Plus, the summer's approaching in the Northern Hemisphere, which means a lot of people are going to be out of school, they're going to have a lot more free time, and they're going to want to play video games, whether it's Grand Theft Auto Online, Apex, Fortnite. Some of them will probably mosey on over to Red Dead Online if they have Red Dead Redemption 2. So yeah, I do feel like that not as many people are playing now as they were, but the game is far from dead. There's still people in the lobbies. For example, I was roaming around New Austin hunting and trying to get some daily challenges accomplished. And even though the map is set up now to where unless you're a red dot or a purple dot, you only come across blue dots whenever they're in close proximity, even out in the middle of New Austin, I was running across several players doing the same thing as me. Not once I get shot at. Now, sometimes obviously you do get shot at. But yes, there are still people playing Red Dead Online. I know that that's one of the things that other people like to say when it comes to games. Oh, that game is dead. I've seen it in the comments section for articles for Grand Theft Auto Online and Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Sea of Thieves and other games, but there's still millions of people around the world playing these games. So just like with those games, Red Dead Online is far from dead. And I can only imagine some of the stuff that Rockstar is potentially working on. Just like we mentioned in this Red Dead Online The Road Ahead article, they just gave us a few breadcrumbs along the way to keep us going. But I think they have a lot more planned. For example, I sincerely believe that just like with Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer, the online version of Red Dead Redemption 1, we are going to get the minigames added to Red Dead Online, such as poker, blackjack, dominoes, Five Finger Fillet, along with maybe some other ones. A lot of people want Liar's Dice from Red Dead Redemption 1 as well as Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer. Now, some people have said, well, the online gambling laws make that an issue. True. But there's one of the reasons why I think that they have two separate currencies in Red Dead Online is to combat that. They'll never make it to where the mini games are played with the gold because of gold bars. However, if they make it to where you put up in-game cash to play poker or blackjack or the other mini games and lose or win money that way with only in-game cash as opposed to the gold nuggets or gold bars, then Rockstar has a way around those pesky online gambling laws. So yes, I do think the minigames are coming, and it wouldn't surprise me if they're part of the spring update. At least I would like for them to be part of the spring update because that's something that's been highly requested by the community. So that we're doing more than just hunting and fishing and the Showdown series, as well as getting shot at and having bounties put on us just for defending ourselves, as well as the continuation of the Land of Opportunities. It would be nice if we could, play some poker, blackjack, and other games with friends as well as randos. Next, of course, is I think that there are going to be a lot of improvements coming, not just to the lobby themselves. Rockstar's mentioned that a few times. They're working on the hostility system, this like offense-defense thing that they have planned. But I think the camp itself is going to see a change, an update, because there's not really much you can do to the camp besides change your wardrobe. You can pick up stuff from your lockbox. You can craft food or cook. But it needs more. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that has sent Rockstar feedback regarding the camp about what they could do to make the camp even better, like adding a butcher shop or adding a cook or a weapons locker, for example, as well as maybe a table for the mini games that a lot of us want, because that would be a perfect place to do the mini games in the safety and comfort of our camps, even when it's raining and storming. Okay, but so that's going to happen. I think there's going to be more improvements coming, hopefully addressing some of the bugs and issues, glitches. But with an online game, as most of you know, yeah, there's always going to be bugs and glitches and issues when it comes to online gaming. That's nothing new. Now, there's other things they've already mentioned in the past that they're going to be adding, similar to Grand Theft Auto Online. Eventually, we are going to get the Rockstar editor, hopefully sooner better than later, because that's going to allow us to make some awesome screenshots, some cool machinimas, some videos. They're going to look really sweet, as well as a creator for various modes like racing, and maybe even some really sweet looking different PvP or PvE modes, or maybe survival or some stuff. I don't know, but there will be a creator coming as well, and they're improving the character creator. So a lot of us have been asking Rockstar for an opportunity to take our character back to the creator to tweak it a little, make it look better. I think we're going to get that chance as well, and I believe that's coming with the spring update. And other things as mentioned, we got free roam activities coming, and I think very similar to Grand Theft Auto Online. They mentioned this in a newswire many years ago. It wasn't many years ago. It was like a year or two ago. Okay, time flies. But they talked about how they were going to look at Grand Theft Auto Online and the things that they built in Grand Theft Auto Online that have worked, like the passive businesses, the crates, you know, warehouses and all that stuff, as a template for future DLCs and updates to Red Dead Online. So I do think that we're going to have passive businesses eventually come to Red Dead Online, and it's probably going to be very similar to the way they work in Grand Theft Auto Online. A lot of players in Grand Theft Auto Online that grind the passive businesses make a ton of money, and they never have to worry about buying shark cards. The same is probably going to be true for a lot of people that get into passive businesses in Red Dead Online, whether you're, I guess, in a mining business for like coal or gold or silver or whatever it happens to be. I'm sure that that's going to be the case. And a lot of us are really craving a Red Dead Online version of heists, and I think that we're going to get that as well. We're going to get probably bank heists, train heists, stagecoach heists. I mean, the stagecoach robberies could simply be a free roam event that spawns across the map, similar to how the armored trucks were in last gen Grand Theft Auto Online. That would be awesome. Plus, I mean, there's also the possibility of maybe a riverboat heist. And speaking of riverboats, I think we're going to be getting properties as well. So yeah, we have the camp, but a lot of us want more than just the camp. Even if they do upgrade the camp, it would be nice to spend the money on stuff that we're earning through hunting, fishing, etc., on homes or maybe apartments, perhaps even some of them sweet mansions in Saint Denis, as well as our own riverboats, similar to yachts in Grand Theft Auto Online, though I hope that the riverboats have a lot more to offer in Red Dead Online than the yachts do in Grand Theft Auto Online. So another place that they could potentially put some of those mini games that we were talking about. And I think that wagons are probably coming. Hopefully the wagons will be useful. I'm sure they're going to have some sort of weaponized wagons that are armored, that have, I don't know, Maxim guns on it, or Gatling guns, or even cannons. But I want wagons that allow me to carry more pelts, or carry more carcasses, or carry more than one big fish at a time. So we're probably going to get more wagons. We're probably going to be able to customize the wagons, maybe even our own rowboats, canoes, perhaps even those mini steamboats, the little steamboats. Maybe we'll get that as well. And weapons. We know that the Lamar revolver is coming, so there's probably more weapons that they have, work in the future for the updates, and more mounts. Whether or not they're going to be normal mounts, or, as I talked about some time ago, crazy mounts, remains to be seen. It seems like right now Rockstar is not going crazy on the mounts like they did in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer or Undead Nightmare, but down the road we may see, Horses of the Apocalypse or a unicorn or a Pegasus or some other stuff like that. The further we go into Red Dead Online, as it goes more, steampunkish and more mythical or legendary or whatever they have planned for us. So we're going to have more content like weapons, mounts, along with clothing. Hopefully they do a better job than they did with this last batch of clothing with update 1.06, drip feeding some quote-unquote limited stock clothing items, like 4 pieces every few weeks. Well, I think they did it like once a week, and they would give you like a week to purchase the items you wanted, and then they would magically be out of stock. We ran about this a week or so ago, but I hope that in the spring update, we'll actually have like a ton of new clothing items. Maybe some sweet new hats from story mode, as well as ponchos, because a lot of people obviously want ponchos. And as I also mentioned, the passive businesses, various new modes. Hopefully they're good, and more missions are coming to Red Dead Online. So yeah, I think that Red Dead Online is far from over. It's far from doomed. It's just getting started, and it's hard to see it that way because of all the nonsense that we've had to endure as members of this community, all the times that we've been disappointed, the faux pas, the mistakes made, the times that they've erred over the past few months. And there have been people that, for whatever rhyme or reason, and they're justified in their reasoning, have left Red Dead Online. And there have been a few times when I wanted to, and there have been several weeks where I stopped playing Red Dead Online. But since update 1.06 and most recently update 1.07, I have been playing Red Dead Online a little bit more. I don't know if that's because the daily challenges, the new modes are not too bad. They're not great, but it's better than nothing. So there is at least new stuff being dripped every week in Red Dead Online to keep us enticed, to keep us coming back for more. I just hope that they do a better job with our XP boosts and money opportunities. Instead of doing like 20 or 30% XP boost, I'd rather them just do double XP, especially when it comes to like a new event, like with Up in Smoke. That should be double XP right now, but it's not. And don't get me started on the fishing challenge. I think I've already talked about that a few times already. Definitely needs to be fixed. So despite the issues that I have with Red Dead Online, despite the problems it has faced in its first few months alive, I don't think that Rockstar is ready to take this one behind the barn just yet. But what do you feel about the future of Red Dead Online? Do you think that we have one more spring update coming, and either that's going to make or break Red Dead Online, whether it succeeds or fails, and before the end of the year, Rockstar will completely abandon Red Dead Online? Or do you foresee Rockstar keeping Red Dead Online going, success or not, when it comes to spring 2019 update into 2020, perhaps even 2021, or even further down the road? Feel free and chime in below with your thoughts regarding the future of Red Dead Online. Is it doomed? Or is there still hope for a bright future when it comes to Red Dead Online? Feel free and let us know below in the comments section.